Hello students, how are you? I hope all of you are fine. Today we will revise chapter verb. We have already studied this chapter in the month of April. I am revising this chapter so that you can understand the chapter verb very well. In this chapter, we will study be verbs, regular and irregular verbs, finite and non-finite verbs, infinitives, gerunds, participle, phrasal verbs, complement of the verb. Okay. So, verb a verb is a part of a speech that indicates an action or a state of existence. For understanding the verb, I am giving you some examples. Ruskin Bond is a famous author. Okay. In this sentence, is we use as a main verb because in this sentence is telling about state of being of the subject Ruskin Bond. मीन्स रस्किन बॉन्ड क्या है वो इस इज हेल्पिंग वर्ब की हेल्प से बताया है सो दैट इन दिस सेंटेंस इज a help main verb used as a main verb. Now I'm giving you another example. He has a house in Missouri. In this sentence, has verb used as a main verb, and this has is describing possession, belongingness. What Ruskin Bond has? He has a house in Missouri. कि रस्किन बॉन्ड के पोजीशन में क्या है? उनके पास एक घर है. Now, Ruskin Bond has written many stories for children. In this sentence, has is used as a helping verb and written is a main verb, and has written both helping verb and main verb are describing actions and work of Ruskin Bond. So, what we have understood? We have understood that a verb is a word that is used to denote an action. वर्ब वो वर्ड है जो एक्शन को बताता है कि सब्जेक्ट ने क्या एक्शन लिया है. द कंडीशन ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट or what is possessed by the subject. Students, I hope you have understood. Now look into your book. Be verbs. Be verbs indicate a state of being. They can be used as the main verb and also to form auxiliary verbs. Am, is, are, were, being, and been are the forms of be verbs that are used. Listen, is, am, are, was, were. Sometimes we use these verbs as a main verb for describing the state of subject. State of being of subject. Okay. Listen, has, have, had. These are possessive verbs, and we use these possessive verbs as a main verb in a sentence to describe possession. What things are possessed by subjects. Okay. Regular and irregular verb. There are two types of verbs, regular and irregular verbs. Regular verbs can form their past and past participle form by adding ed. We know that first form, second form, and third form. First form is present tense, second form is past, we use for past tense, and always we use for past simple, and the third form is past participle. Okay, so we can make regular verb, just add ed in the spelling of main verb. For an example, cook, cooked, cooked. Okay, now come to irregular verb. An irregular verb can form its past tense and past participle, means second form and third form, in several ways. Most irregular verbs change spellings, but there are some that do not change their forms at all. Look at these examples: come, came, come, become, became, become, go, went, gone, do, did, done, swim, swam, swum, shrink, shrank, shrunk, sing, sang, sung, put, let, cut, hit. These are the examples of irregular verbs. Before starting finite and non-finite verbs, I am telling you and I am describing you transitive and intransitive verbs. As we have already studied about transitive and intransitive verbs, but I am revising this topic. Verbs may be transitive or intransitive. A transitive verb requires an object to complete its meaning and indicates an action which passes over from the doer to an object. Listen, student, this is very important. Object always should be a noun or pronoun. In noun topic, we have already studied about the function of noun. The function of noun is it is always used at the place of subject or at the place of object. And you know about pronoun. Pronoun is a word which we use at the place of noun. So, what we have understood? We have understood that object always be a noun or pronoun. Okay, now come to main topic, transitive verb. If a verb requires an object to clear its meaning, this verb is called transitive verb. Now I am giving you an example. I found. I found. Found is a verb. Okay. You have question in your mind that what I found. So there is a need of an object to clear the meaning of found. So I found the necklace. The necklace. The necklace is an object which is clearing the meaning of found. So the found is transitive verb. Come to intransitive verb. An intransitive verb does not require any object to complete its meaning. The dog jumped. This is clear. The dog jumped. Okay, there is no need of any object, so the verb jumped is intransitive verb. Clear? Okay, now come to topic finite and non-finite verb. Okay. Verbs can broadly be divided into finite and non-finite verbs. Finite verbs are verbs that change according to tense, time of action, the number of people doing the action, singular or plural, or the person, first person, second person, or third person pronoun doing the action. This is explained with the help of example. I am giving you some examples. By these examples, you can understand the finite verb very well. Rita painted a picture. Rita will paint a picture. Rita paints a picture. Rita is painting a picture. In these examples, painted, paints, will paint, is painting, these are the examples of finite verbs. Okay. Now come to non-finite verb. A non-finite verb does not have tense. It does not change its form whatever be the time of action, number of people doing the action, singular or plural, or the person doing the action, first person, second person, or third person. Now I'm giving you some examples. She likes baking cakes. You like baking cakes. She liked baking cakes. In these examples, baking is a verb, okay, but it's non-finite verb and it is not changing according to the subject and according to the time and according to the singular or plural of subject. So what we have understood that non-finite verb does not change according to the number of subjects, according to the person of subject, and according to the tense of sentence. Okay. Kinds of non-finite verbs. There are three kinds of non-finite verb. Infinitive, to plus first form of the verb. Gerund, ing form of the verb functions like a noun. Participle, ing form of the verb functions like an adjective. Infinitives. Infinitives are the base form of the verb. They are usually used to express why in an action being done. Usually they are preceded by a to, making it easy to identify them. ओके इन्फिनेटिव वर्ब्स में क्या होता है वी यूज टू before the first form of the verb, and you can say that after to always use first form of the verb. An infinitive is a non-finite verb that expresses an action. It is generally preceded by the preposition to, means first form of the verb से पहले to आता है. Sometimes it is used without to also, and it is called a bare infinitive. Clear? See examples. I asked him to sit. I wanted to sleep. To sit and to sleep are the examples of infinitives. Infinitives can be used to make sentence compact. I am giving you example. Ritesh hoped that he would score good marks. Now, by the help of infinitive, we can compact this sentence. Ritesh hoped to score good marks. Now come to Ziren. A gerund is a verb that ends in ing and functions as a noun. It is a verbal noun and does the work both of a verb and a noun. Jogging is a good exercise. Fishing is his hobby. In these examples, the words jogging and fishing are used as a gerunds. These will not change according to tense, number or person of the subject. The verb jogging does not change according to the tense and number of subject. It is a non-finite verb and is called a gerund. Okay, and gerund we use in a sentence as a noun. Okay, see in your book. The gerund is the form of a verb that ends in ing. They function as a nouns in a sentence. They can be single word or gerund phrase. Okay. Subject gerunds. Playing is an essential part of life. Playing team games helps builds feeling of unity. Direct object gerunds. Bob dislikes swimming. Bob disliked swimming in the open sea. Gerunds as object of proposition. Jay is not known for studying. Sania has taken a dislike to eating sweets. In this sentence, playing, playing, swimming, swimming, studying, eating. These are gerunds, and in this sentence, these gerunds work as a noun. Now come to topic participles. Participles. A participle is a non-finite verb that is used an adjective or an adverb in a sentence. It is formed by adding ing, d, ed or t to a verb. Now listen students, there are main important difference between participles and gerunds. And what is the difference? The difference is gerunds work as a noun and participles work as a adjective and adverb. And we can make gerund by adding ing in the first form of verb, and we can make participle by adding ing, ed, en and t in the first form of the verb. So a participle is a verb that is used as an adjective and often ends with ing, ed or en. It is a verbal adjective and does the work of a verb and an adjective in a sentence. Okay, I am giving you some examples. The twinkling stars were clearly visible. Sparkling diamonds look marvelous. In these two examples, twinkling word is describing uh, stars. ट्विंकलिंग वर्ड किसको डिस्क्राइब कर रहा है? स्टार को. किसके बारे में बता रहा है? स्टार्स के बारे में. एंड स्पार्कलिंग डायमंड्स and sparkling word in this example describing about diamonds. So you know the definition of adjective. Adjective is a word which tells something about and add something and tell something about noun. Okay, so you have understood that the twinkling stars were clearly visible. Twinkling word, you can say twinkling participle In this example, telling something about stars, sparkling diamonds. Sparkling participle is telling something about diamonds. So we have understood that participle we use in the sentence as a adjectives. Clear? And participle is also a non-finite verb. Clear? See in your book. We met a girl carrying a basket of apples. Knocking loudly at my door, he woke me up. Participle may be in the past tense as in the following sentence. Examples: blinded by the smoke and dust, I could not find my way near the construction. Encouraged by his friends and family, he studied hard and scored highest marks in town. A phrase introduced by a participle is called a participle phrase. It often appears at the beginning of a sentence and acts as an adjective describing a noun or a pronoun. Okay, participle phrase we use in the beginning of the sentence, and the function of participle phrase is to describe something about noun or a pronoun. Hearing the music, I knew the party had begun. Okay, it is important to distinguish between a gerund and participle. A gerund acts as a noun, as in this sentence. I have already cleared this thing, the difference between gerund and participle. Gerund we use as a noun and participle we use as an adjective in the sentence. Phrasal verb. A phrasal verb is formed by adding a preposition or an adverb to a verb which creates a meaning different from that of the original verb. Examples: he, he always looked down on the students who were weak at studies. The teacher spelled out the steps to be followed. Prepositions or adverbs used in phrasal verbs can be out, down, off, up, into, for, back, over, away, in, and on. Okay, listen, students. The combination of a verb and a preposition, a verb and an adverb, or a verb with an adverb and a preposition to form a complete unit of meaning is called a phrasal verb. After vacation, she wanted to get back to work immediately. Okay, now in this sentence, get back is a phrasal verb, means resume. Clear? Though verb and by adding preposition, by verb and adding adverb, we can make another word which has another meaning, and it is called phrasal verb. Get back. The meaning of get back: resume. He did not turn up for the interview. Now, turn up is a phrasal verb, and the meaning of turn up is arrive or come. Look into, phrasal verb, means examine. Turn off means switch off. Give back means return. Walk out means leave. Carry on means continue. These are phrasal verb. Okay? Complement of the verb. The boy read the book with great eagerness. In the above sentence, the word with great eagerness complete the meaning of the sentence. The phrase acts as the complement of the verb. A complement is a word or group of words that is needed to complete the meaning of a sentence. Complements are of two types, subject complements and object complements. Okay, look at this sentence. The hospital is right next to my office building. The phrase right next to my office building is the subject complement as it completes the meaning of the sentence. It also tells us something about the subject, that is the hospital. Listen students, subject complements always tell something about subject and object complements always tell something about object. Okay students, listen. Sometimes an intransitive verb which does not require an object requires a word or group of words to make complete sense. This word or group of word is called a complement. Sometimes it refers to the subject of the sentence and sometimes it refers to the object of the sentence. Examples: Lata Mangeshkar sings melodiously. Melodiously is not a noun. So we and you know object should be noun and pronoun, and melodiously is not a noun and a pronoun, so it is not a object also. So melodiously is a complement of the verb. Subhash Chandra Bose was a freedom fighter. Freedom fighter also a complement of the verb. And in these two examples, melodiously and freedom fighter telling something about subjects, so it is subject compli. So these two complements are subject complements. Okay students, I hope you have understood the chapter very well. Listen the video attentively and carefully and do the exercises.